Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I'm going live about now. I don't apologize for the weird streaming time. It's just the time when Google I/O happens. It's apparently the time when most companies like to stream. So yeah, then I'll take it. 6:45 p.m. I don't think it's too bad, and I hope my international audience bears with me that my time fluctuates sort of with all these events. That's neither here nor there. We are here today to discuss the Google I/O. Obviously, yesterday we reacted to OpenAI's like spring update. Before that, after that, we reacted to like the reviews of Apple's M4 iPad Pro. Over the last couple of days, we've been really hard at analyzing the M4 benchmarks. So we've been all over the place, but still somewhat Apple related, because obviously AI will be big for every tech company. Google is kind of Apple's biggest competition. Everybody who joins, as always, I encourage you to tell me if the audio is working all right for you, if the video is working all right for you. Now, I have been pretty disappointed with the Google I/Os of the last prior years. I thought they were way too AI centric. There was very little to no work put into what I consider the core Android user experience. So I hope this changes. Now, I know this will still be a very AI-centered event. I just really hope that they will find some time, some space for actual like user interface improvements, new applications that Google hopefully doesn't kill in 3 months again, stuff like that, stuff that an actual end user cares about. Now, I want to give you a brief glimpse into why I'm actually not that optimistic. Yep, this is the pre-entertainment for Google I/O. Yep, Carol, or Carol, I actually don't know. I sort of intuitively assume that everyone is a man in my comments, so forgive me if I, for some reason, mispronounce your name. But Babinski I can pronounce. You're watching I/O, you're saying this is strange. This is very strange. When I saw that, I was like, oh, am I missing something? Did it already start? And it's like they have like a DJ who's working like with AI, and he's basically telling like a music AI to like combine this beat with the other beat and whatever. And I assume none of this is licensed music. Regardless, I do have monetization turned off for now. I'll turn it on once the stream is actually online fully, because I don't want us to get interrupted with ads right now.
Now you we'll choose the prompts, and we'll leave it up to chance. As I said, everything here unscripted, unplanned. I didn't know this was going to happen. What's this?
I mean, this is not entertaining. This is weird, because it's like at this point you're actually doing like, this is what I just wanted to say. Like, Apple got so much shit for that Crush ad where they destroyed a couple of cheap instruments and whatever, right? And like the most expensive thing there was probably like that video editing station, and even then I doubt they put like a real high-end graphics card in there or anything. But like this is actually disrespectful to content creators, and by content creators I don't just mean like YouTubers. I mean like legitimately musicians, DJs, composers, stuff like that, right? And yet nobody will actually care, because nobody cares about, like, fundamentally people care first and foremost about Apple. I swear that to you guys. Like otherwise, this stuff would have already been like, people would be burning down like the Steve Jobs Center if this was ever happening during an Apple event. It's one thing to give people like an AI tool. It's one to make it like the center of like your entertainment. It's so weird.
6 prompts: bagpipes, Persian tar, djembe, dulcimer, flamenco guitar, Detroit techno. You know what those things are? Huh? You know what this is?
No, don't care.
Shout them out. What do you want to hear?
It looks like the nerdiest one of the whole group is trying to prove to everyone that he can be a DJ at the party. Yeah, but that is so much funner at a real party, right? It's like it's the same thing if you go like karaokeing with like your guys or just your friend group. If my friend group is predominantly women, so I don't actually go out much with guys. I apologize, but it's like there are always a couple of people there who cannot sing but will sing the loudest, right? And it's part of the human experience. Fundamentally, why am I supposed to watch this before Google's I/O? Like, at least Apple has like decent music pre-playing, some nice animations. Sometimes they even invite whole bands afterwards, right? Like, why am I supposed to watch this? This guy looks like the YouTuber Mr. Matty Plays, if somebody knows who I'm talking about.
Flamenco guitar.
Yeah, I know what flamenco guitar is, yes. Thank you.
Persian bagpipe? Someone said bagpipe?
I mean, I know what a bagpipe is. Like, what?
No! Get the bagpipe out of here!
Oh my god, he's like in a bathrobe and everything. It's like, dude, this is socially acceptable at a karaoke bar after like 10 drinks, and then somebody believes that they're now suddenly Japanese, and hopefully the group isn't one to cancel him or her afterwards. This is what happens, but in a human setting. Seeing that in like a corporate event that's supposed to show me like the future of technology, like, oh Jesus Christ. Also, like, at that point, go with the full look. Go with sandals. Don't go with, like, sneakers and socks.
Okay, Persian tar, djembe.
I have no idea what djembe is.
Djembe. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop these in here, and then I'm gonna use them as samples, and I'm gonna make something with this. So,
okay, we have our first note of the day. Cringe. Everyone who's watching, I highly encourage you, if you are enjoying not this, but if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe, please like, please share, please leave a comment either right now in the super chat or once the video has been processed afterwards. If you feel like supporting this channel directly, you can leave a super chat or a super sticker right while I'm live. Or if you want to support this channel directly in the long term, you can find my Patreon link in the description of this channel. Big shout out to Louis Gault. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Gault, who is our first and for now only MarkTech Pro Max subscriber at on Patreon. So if you feel like wanting to be shout out, getting a shout out at the beginning or end of every stream, please subscribe to my Patreon there. From this perspective, the latest Apple ad doesn't look so bad. Well, I have analyzed the Apple ad and it didn't look bad to me at all. At least it was like artistically produced. It looked pretty. It was nicely edited. I'm saying this would be way more acceptable if he was drunk. If this was like Sundar Pichai, like the Google CEO, and he was like, man, we are gonna announce the best AI right now, I am completely stoned or drunk, and then he like presents the AI in this way, I would honestly have more respect towards that than I do to this.
Djembe.
And yeah, guys, if you're wondering, I'm today again coming to you right after workout, right after work. So yeah, I'm actually like really effed in my rhythm of my day right now, trying to fit in all those streams. But I mean, it's Google I/O. Like, it would be kind of silly to not be here, but it just feels like an insult. Like, why is this? Like, I know it's not Google I/O yet. It's basically the start to it, and I think this would be okay if this was like a day 2 event, right? And it was like in between different presentations. But we are the main Google keynote, right? This is about their future. This is about Android, search, YouTube, their core UI beliefs, their core AI beliefs. Like, this is so weird, and
I think we were gonna shoot some robes at you.
By the way, please let me know, is my audio mix alright with the stream together? I obviously don't want to be that much louder than the stream, but I also don't want to be that much more quiet. Like, what kind of freaking event is this? Well, I'm starting to get like a headache from this. So I'll just, yeah. This is nicer. Way more calming. Way more like introspective. It's still like, why is this animation look so cheap? But oh, was that a joke? Was that a visual joke to like the Windows logo? To like Microsoft? Like, is that like a declaration of war hidden right in the intro? And yeah, as always, everyone who is joining the stream, let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me on something. Tell me what you think of the event. Tell me what you think this means for the future of like basically a major Apple competitor. I assume most people coming in do understand that my channel is an Apple focus channel, so I will probably analyze most of it from the perspective what this means for Apple. I did the same with yesterday's OpenAI event. To be honest, I have come around a little bit on yesterday's OpenAI event, where I will still wholeheartedly believe that the event was cringe, and I'm still not sure if everything there was live. But I've seen what some people have done with the AI afterwards that looked far more productive than they've shown. They've also done like creative stuff with the voice synthesizer. And I was pretty impressed with that, so I'll give them some respect for it. But yeah, the overall event was absolute dog shit, and I kind of get the feeling that we might be a little bit up to the same today with Google. Which is such a shame. After like, I know people like complain about like the shorter events from Apple, like the iPad event and the Scary Fast event for the MacBooks, and like, yeah, but they are short, but they are well produced. Like, do I need 2-hour events for everything? Like WWDC will be 2 hours. That's different, right? And they will definitely be filling up every minute probably. While in comparison to like what, for example, that spring update was from OpenAI, I would have much more preferred like a more edited experience, something that looked nicer, where the microphone quality was better. I don't know, like I assume that Google AI will be a mix of everything. I doubt it will be as direct and blunt as yesterday's OpenAI event, but judging from the pre-show, now I'm not sure. Now I'm actually worried that this might be the worst of all events. Yeah, I don't even have that much to say, because like unfortunately Android hasn't really been changing for like the last 3 or 4 years that much. Like most changes that you see come from like the vendor specific like Android skin, and all the rest is more like Google specific stuff that they give the pixels, or it's very AI specific, and then it's like something like what Samsung is doing and integrating it into like with Circle to Search and stuff like that. Guys, let me know, am I too loud? Is the event too loud? Is there something I can do to improve quality for you and output, whatever? Okay, let's see who comes out. It's gonna be Sam Altman. Because he wasn't there at Open.
Artificial intelligence. launches Gemini.
AI is rolling out to workspace.
And it's completely changing the way we work.
Okay.
You know,
AI
a
is
lot
basically
has
the
happened
first
in
word
AI.
we hear.
There have been new beginnings. We found new ways to find new ideas and new solutions to age-old problems.
I mean,
Sorry about your shirt. We dreamt of things. Never too old for a treehouse. We trained for
I mean,
things.
all of that stuff is like better done with like
And learned
YouTube and
about
Google search even.
We found new paths. Took the next step. And made the big leap. Cannonball!
Maybe I should try like creating a
We
new
built
logo
these
for
like
myself.
heroic leaps. And more
If
happened
that's
in
like, I
months
don't know,
than
is it
happened in
like,
years.
does it have any business ramifications if you're using AI for something technically commercial? Like my revenue on this channel is a joke,
Things
but
got
it's technically a
bigger.
business.
Like, way bigger.
Like if I was making more money here, I'd be paying taxes.
Or for her. It was for everyone.
It seems to be like the focus on like distinct user experiences is just gone. It's just all replaced with AI. It just doesn't feel right to me. Not because AI in of itself is bad. I think those things deserve to co-evolve. I don't think that one is supposed to like replace the other. This is why I was actually pretty okay with like circle to search and stuff, because that felt like a little bit of a marriage between like more AI and like a proper user interface.
Welcome to Google I/O. It's great to have all of you with us. We have a few thousand developers with us here today at Shoreline. Millions more are joining virtually around the world. Thanks.
Companies should communicate that they intend to use the technology to support
those
human
of
work
you who
and
haven't seen
creativity.
I/O before,
Yeah, it's all more
Google's
like
version
we
of
are
the data
replacing
store.
humanity.
But with fewer costume changes. At Google, though, we are fully in our Gemini era. You'll hear a lot about that today. Before we get into it, I want to reflect on this moment we are in. We've been investing in
The
AI
Gemini
for more
name
than
is
a
so
decade.
stupid. They should have just
And
stuck with
innovating at
assistant
every
and
layer
just
of
say
the stack.
assistant is now
Research,
AI assistant.
Product, infrastructure. We're going to talk about it all today. Still, we are in the very early days of the AI platform shift. We see so much opportunity ahead for creators, for developers, for startups, for everyone. Helping to drive those opportunities is what our Gemini era is all about. So let's get started. A year ago on this stage, we first shared our plans for Gemini, a frontier model built to be natively multimodal from the very beginning that could reason across text, images, video, code, and more. It's a big step in turning any input into any output, an I/O for a new generation.
You
Since
see?
then, we introduced the first Gemini models, our most capable yet. They demonstrated state-of-the-art performance on every multimodal benchmark, and that was just the beginning. 2 months later, we introduced Gemini 1.5 Pro, delivering a big breakthrough in long context.
Will we get Gemini
Run
2?
1 million tokens in production consistently, more than any other large-scale foundation model yet. We want everyone to benefit from what Gemini can do. So we have worked quickly to share these advances with all of you. Today, more than 1.5 million developers use Gemini models across our tools. You're using it to debug code, get new insights, and to build the next generation of AI applications. We've also been bringing Gemini's breakthrough capabilities across our products in powerful ways. We'll show examples today.
Okay, I hope
across
so.
Search, Photos, Workspace, Android, and more. Today, all of our 2 billion user products use Gemini. And we've introduced new experiences too, including on mobile, where people can interact with Gemini directly through the app. Now available on Android and iOS, and through Gemini Advanced, which provides access to our most
These
capable
companies
models.
cannot not support
Over 1 million
Apple.
people have signed
Like
up to try
OpenAI
in
just
3
put
months,
on
continues to show strong momentum.
a ChatGPT app on the Mac, but
most
not on
exciting
Windows,
transformation
and they are
Gemini
putting like an
is
app on
search.
Android and iOS, but
In the
not like
past
Windows
year,
or Mac.
We've answered billions of queries as part of her search.
So iOS will be like the #1 AI platform
People are
simply
using it to
by
search
app
in
support.
entirely new ways and asking new types of questions.
I mean, like
Longer and
they're
more
like I
complex
would
queries.
want video instructions for
Even
most of
searching
that
in
stuff
photos.
anyway.
And getting back the best the web has to offer. We've been testing this experience outside of labs, and we are encouraged to see not only an increase in search usage,
Sponsored?
but also an increase
So
in
AI
user
now
satisfaction.
does have like
I'm excited
ads.
to announce that we will begin launching this fully revamped experience, AI overviews, to everyone in the US this week, and we'll bring it to more countries soon.
Okay, I have no idea what that exactly is. Is it like for search specifically? Is it
There's so much
for everything in the
happening
app?
Search. Thanks to Gemini, we can create much more powerful search experiences,
Okay, more powerful search
including within our
experience.
products. Let me show you an example in Google Photos. We launched Google Photos almost 9 years ago.
Wait, but now we are in,
Since
in
then,
an
people
app.
have used it to organize their most important memories. Today, that amounts to more than 6 billion photos and videos uploaded every single day. And people love using photos to search across their life. With Gemini, you're making that a whole lot easier. Say you're at a parking station ready to pay, but you can't recall your license plate number. Before, you could search photos for keywords, and then scroll through years' worth of photos looking for the right one. Now, you can simply ask photos. It knows the cars that appear often. It triangulates which one is yours.
I
just
mean,
tells you the license
oh, I wouldn't trust AI with this. Why would I even have like a lot
Photos
of
can also help you
pictures?
search your memories in a deeper way. For example, you might be reminiscing about your daughter Lucia's early milestones.
Daughter Lucius,
ask
not
photos.
Lucia?
When did
I mean,
Lucia
who am I
learn
to
to
judge?
swim? You can even follow up with something more.
No, it says it's Lucia
how Lucia's
apostrophe
swimming
S.
has
Okay, Lucius.
Here, Gemini goes beyond a simple search, recognizing different contexts, from doing laps in the pool. to
Georgie,
snorkeling
good
in the ocean.
evening. Good evening. I already
Question
gave you a
takes on
shout out
a
at
swimming And photos packages it up all together in a summary.
forget it.
Really take it all in.
I for a moment I thought you were the
Memories
Patreon
all over
subscriber.
again. We are rolling out Ask Photos this summer with more capabilities to come.
Okay. I mean, it's all nice, but like ultimately,
Unlocking knowledge across formats is why we built Gemini to be multimodal from the ground up. It's one model with all the modalities built in.
yeah, we
So
get
not only
that.
does it
You said
understand
multimodal
each
like
type of
10
input,
times.
It finds connections between them. Multimodality radically expands the questions we can ask and the answers we will get back. Long context takes this a step further, enabling us to bring in even more information. Hundreds
What?
of pages of text, hours of audio, a full hour of video, or entire code repos. Or if you want, roughly 96 Cheesecake Factory menus.
Then what the
For
like?
that many menus, you need a 1 million token context window, now possible with Gemini 1.5 Pro. Developers have been using it in super interesting
So
ways.
they don't have a new model actually, and Google Gemini 1.5 Pro is one of the worst current models. It is one of the worst advanced models.
I remember the announcement, the 1 million token context window, and my first reaction was, there's no way they were able to achieve this.
I wanted to test its technical skills. So I uploaded a line chart. It was temperatures between like Tokyo and Berlin and how they vary across the 12 months of the year.
So I got in there and I threw in the Python library that I was really struggling with. And I just asked it a simple question. And it nailed it. It could find specific references to comments in the code and specific requests that people had made and other issues that people had had, but then suggest a fix for it that related to what I was
George, oh, don't worry. You can support me however you choose. Super chat, super stickers. I know Patreon is like not available in every region. But that wasn't like I mistook you just for a second. It wasn't like a jab against you. It's just my eyes are like a little bit like, you know, trapped between this and
It felt
this.
a little bit like Christmas because you saw things kind of peppered up to the top of your feed about like, oh wow, I built this thing, or oh, it's doing this, and I would have never expected.
I mean, that's also, by the way, not true. Like, the main news for, I mean, it's not the main news for Gemini 1.5 Pro, but the main news for a lot of Gemini were like the terrible auto-generated images or like AI-generated images of like black Nazis and like white Aborigines or whatever. Like,
truncating the title, you could just see the word Site C, and it still guessed the correct book. The range of things you can do with that is almost unlimited.
And so at that point, for me, it was just like a click, like, this is it.
I thought like I had like a superpower in my hands.
It was poetry. It was beautiful. I was so happy.
yeah, it seems like a decent tool for developers, but it feels like every time they try to put it into like general search, it just becomes
because
like a gimmick.
you trained it to be personal to you, but personal to you because you can give it such a vast understanding of who you are.
Wait, but that had nothing to do with your task. Like, your code was not personal in that way. It just did a good job
Rolling out
analyzing
Gemini
your
1.5
code.
Pro with long context and preview over the last few months.
Lewis, evening mate. Lewis, I meant you. I already gave you a shout out at the beginning of the stream for being a Pro Max level Patreon supporter. So,
I'm excited
welcome.
to announce that we are bringing this improved version of Gemini 1.5 Pro to all developers globally.
Lewis, they're bringing just more AI. It's like, and they're trying to appease
Gemini
devs,
1.5
but
Pro
like,
with 1 million context is now directly available for consumers in Gemini Advanced and can be used
like
across
this,
35
like
languages.
they've set like multimodal and 1.5, 1 million context window, like so many times at this
But I think
point.
we can push ourselves even further. So today, we are expanding the context window to 2 million tokens.
Okay, Nvidia will be really happy. Like for 2 million tokens, damn, they're buying up a lot of Nvidia B100s and 200s.
We made in a few months. This represents the next step on our journey towards the ultimate goal of infinite context.
That's not how it works, but okay.
So far we have talked about two.
Yeah,
technical
Lewis,
advances.
no, as far as I know, no physical hardware. They introduced like the
Each is
Pixel
powerful on
8a
its own,
not too long ago
but
anyway.
together, they unlock deeper capabilities and more intelligence. Let's see how this comes to life with Google Workspace. People are always searching their emails in Gmail. We are working to make it much more powerful with Gemini. Let's look at how.
I mean,
As
like,
a parent,
searching
you
my
want to know
emails is like
everything
not...
that's going on with your child's school. Okay, maybe not everything, but you want to stay informed. Gemini can help you keep up. Now we can ask Gemini to summarize all recent emails from the school. In the background,
Or you can...
it's identifying...
Or how about you actually just look at the people who are sending you emails from the school and do your job as a parent and read the actual email.
emails, even analyzing attachments like PDFs, and you get a summary of the key points and action items. So helpful. Maybe you were
I mean, like...
traveling this week and you couldn't make the PTA meeting. The recording of the meeting is an hour long. If it's from Google Meet, you can ask Gemini to give you the highlights.
Like, is it nobody's supposed to actually do their stuff anymore?
Of course, Gemini can draft a reply. There are countless other examples of how this can make life easier. Gemini 1.5 Pro is available today in Workspace Labs. And Aparna will share
Like, there
more
is
later
no
on.
excitement here. Like, these people are not like the OpenAI guys. George, you're saying this is basically a developers conference. It's 100% a developers conference,
We
but
just looked at an
like
example
it's
with
still
text
like
output.
this keynote is
Multiple
supposed to be
models,
like the
so much
WWDC
more.
keynote. It has always
Show you
been
an
that.
early demo of audio output.
What is my preferred AI chat assistant, if any? I prefer Copilot in the sense that it's easy to use inside Bing, and I just mapped it to the double tap back gesture on my iPhone. But I don't use it that often. I mostly use it as like an intellectual exercise in seeing how it evolves.
Since then, we've seen a lot of momentum with students and
The problem is I've seen it fail sometimes, and this is why I'm not 100% on it.
And it's great. Let me show you. So here we are in Notebook LM. You can load it up with all the materials here on the left. In this notebook, I've been using it with my younger son, and I've added some of his science worksheets, a few slide decks from his teacher, and even an open source textbook full of charts and diagrams. With 1.5 Pro, it instantly creates this notebook guide with a helpful summary and can generate a study guide, an FAQ, or even quizzes.
Like, it feels though like apparently nobody's ever supposed to actually read something created by humans. We're only supposed to read summaries written by AI. It's like, I understand that that's a cool function, but like everything is the same. You're not actually showing me like,
personalized for him. Let's take a listen.
So let's dive into physics. What's on deck for today?
Well, we're starting with the basics. Force and motion.
Okay.
And that, of course, means we have to talk about Sir Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion.
Ah, yes, the foundation for understanding how objects move and interact.
Ah, yes, this is where multimodal really shines. Now, it generated this audio discussion based on that text material.
Or you could have looked at 1 billion YouTube videos where actual people, actual like physics professors explain to you the basics. It's the problem is it does nothing better than a million of already pre-existing content.
Can you give my son Jimmy a basketball example?
Why?
Hey, Jimmy! That's a fantastic idea. Basketball is actually a great way to visualize
voice much worse than what OpenAI is doing.
Imagine a basketball just sitting there on the court. It's not moving, right? That's because all the forces acting on it are balanced. The downward pull of gravity.
Pretty cool, right?
No. I mean, the voice is actually like the man voice is more somewhat impressive.
Seen how big his eyes got because he was gripped. They were talking to him. He was learning science through the example of basketball, his favorite sport. Now, what's interesting is under the hood, you saw that Gemini had used some of the concepts of gravity, Sir Isaac Newton, but nothing in there was about basketball. It connected the dots and created that age-appropriate example for him.
Baseball.
And this is what's becoming possible with the power of Gemini. You can give it
or was it basketball? Is he gaslighting me? Georgie coming in with a massive 5-pound super chat saying Google needs to take presentation lessons from Craig. Yeah, you need the hair to make I/O more interesting because right now they feel disconnected. It's quite boring. Yeah, and I mean like the developers in the audience are not like throwing their panties at them at like as if they're like superstars. Right? It feels noticeably boring. Thank you, George, though. Like, you are not boring, man. Thank you. It's not that they need somebody like Craig specifically. I think you can almost train people to be like that, but you need to have somebody who actually prepares an event like that. It's not like Craig will write his entire speech, I think.
Able to think multiple steps ahead, work across software and systems.
But yeah, thank you, George.
Get something done on your behalf, and most importantly, under your supervision. We are still in the early days, and you'll see glimpses of our approach throughout the day. But let me show you the kinds of use cases we are working hard to solve. Let's start with shopping. It's pretty fun to shop for shoes, and a lot less fun to return them when they don't fit. Imagine if Gemini could do all the steps for you.
Send them back?
Inbox for the receipt, locating the order number from your
okay, that's not bad. I'll legitimate if it does the job pretty well. It's just that Germany has pretty good consumer protection laws, so it's pretty easy mostly to send stuff back here. It is what it is. So
it's a bit more complex. Say you just moved to Chicago. you can imagine Gemini and Chrome working together to help
Google
you do a number of
needs
things
me
get
to
done.
make the presentation.
Organizing, reasoning,
My exotic
analyzing,
German accent will liken up the keynote.
For example,
My
we
accent
want
is
to
not
explore
German,
the
brother. My
online
accent
services
is
nearby, from dry cleaning
not
to
Russian,
dog
definitely not. Russian
You
is
have
my
to update
first
your
language,
address
but
because it doesn't
I
say
grew
that
up in
much.
Moldova, which is in
Gemini
Eastern
can work
Europe,
across
but
the
that's a
stack
Romanic
and will
language,
prompt you for
so
more
my
information when
accent
needed.
is like
So you
that
are
of a
always in control.
Russian native speaker,
really
but
important
from a
as we learn
region
about
with
these
like a
systems.
Romanic
It's really
language,
hard about cloud-coding away
and then
that
mostly
private,
growing up in
secure,
Germany,
and works for
and
everyone.
actually English is my
simple use
preferred
cases
language and
to
everything in
give you
real
a good
life.
sense of the
So
types
that's
of
kind of
problems
how
you
it
want
goes
to
for
solve.
me.
By building intelligent systems that think ahead, reason, and plan all on your behalf. The power of Gemini with multimodality, long context,
And 2 million.
agents
Oh, I thought you would say
brings us
2 million
closer to our
tokens.
ultimate goal, making AI helpful for everyone. We see this as how we will make the most progress against our mission.
We lost like half our
Organizing the work
viewership
automation
because
across
I assume
every
people are just getting bored. I hope not with
via
me.
any
I
outlet,
hope more with the event
combining the
itself.
world's information
But yeah, this
with
is
insights
boring
into
as
your
hell.
world in a way that's truly useful for you. To fully
Thank you,
realize the
George.
benefits
Thank
of
you.
AI, will continue to break new ground. Google DeepMind is hard at work. To share more, please welcome for the first time on the I.O. stage, Sir Demis.
Who? Am I supposed to care? From afar, I thought it was Microsoft CEO. I don't know why.
It's so great to be here.
Lewis, you're saying you think everyone in Europe has mostly the same consumer rights protection? Yeah, I agree. But I have a pretty international audience with like people watching from India and stuff like that, from the US. So I kind of I'm sometimes a little arrogant about that. It doesn't mean that I believe other European countries are actually worse than Germany.
I've always believed that if we could build this technology responsibly, its impact would be truly profound and it could benefit humanity in incredible ways. Last year, we reached a milestone on that path when we formed Google DeepMind, combining AI talent from across the company into one super unit. Since then, we've built AI systems that can do an amazing range of things, from turning language and vision into action for robots, navigating complex virtual 3D environments, solving Olympiad-level math problems, and even discovering...
Yeah, I will admit, for example, one thing, I think that AI is legitimately very good at math.
It can predict the structure and interactions of nearly all of life's molecules, including how proteins interact with strands of DNA and RNA.
Thank you, George. Yeah, I believe me. I would have skipped this too if I didn't see it as an opportunity to create content for you guys. I apologize for not giving you as much deep insight as I usually would. It's just incredibly boring to look at and listen. Microsoft just bought Google, joking.
Built up from the ground up to be natively multimodal. Because that's how we
like multimodal, like 2 million tokens, agents. It's like all the same crap. It's like if you think that Apple like used the word 5G a lot during the iPhone 12 event, I encourage you to have a drinking game whenever they say multimodal here. What's the odds of half the stuff they announce will be binned? I think that everything here will come to pass because it's all integrated into like their broader AI approach. I just really wonder how much of what they're showing exactly here will be like, you know, directly in app, or how much they force you to go through like that specific Google Gemini app. How much will have to wait to actually be useful, because suddenly we have to wait until Google Gemini to, right? This is the problem. It's not like they aren't showing anything drastically new, so it's not something that they will destroy in like the Google graveyard way. But yeah, like this is not like not everything will be implemented right away or whatever.
Family of Gemini models. but we're always striving to
And
push
like the
state-of-the-art
animations, it's
even
like the
further.
same neural network
At any
crap.
one time, we
There's
have
no
many
fantasy
models
to any of that. This
and we use
feels
our very
AI
large and
generated.
powerful ones to help
This is the
teach,
biggest
train,
insult I
our
can give to
production
this.
models.
This feels AI
Together with user
generated.
feedback, this cutting-edge research will help us to build amazing new products for billions of people. For example, in December, we shared a glimpse into the future of how people would interact with multimodal AI.
Multimodal,
And this
take
is
a
how
take
we
a
end
sip,
up powering
guys.
A new set of transformative experiences. Today, we have some exciting new progress to share about the future of AI assistants that we're calling Project Astra.
Oh my god, another name, because Google likes to confuse shareholders by coming up with new names. It's the same way that Google Gemini had to sort of supplant Google
Our work making
Assistant.
this vision a reality goes back many years.
What is
It's why we
Astra?
made Gemini multimodal from the very beginning.
Multimodal!
An
Drink,
engine like this
drink!
has to understand and respond to our complex and dynamic world just like we do. It would need to take in and remember what it sees so it can understand context and take action. And it would have to be proactive, teachable, and personal.
Oh, are they doing what OpenAI did yesterday?
While we've made some great strides in developing AI systems that can understand multimodal information, getting response time down to something conversational is a difficult engineering challenge.
Well, I mean, you can cheat by what the OpenAI guys did. Because I've seen now videos, guys, with people asking, like, ChatGPT 4.0. It's nowhere near as fast as what we saw during the event. It's certainly not fast in the sense that, like, it interrupts you, you interrupt it. That's not how it works.
Making the pace and quality of interaction feel much more natural.
Yeah, Astra stinks a little bit of like their like phone assistant thing, right?
Was captured in a single take in real time.
What is?
Okay, let's do some tests.
What?
Tell me when you see something that makes sound.
What? Why? Why do I need that?
Speaker, which makes sound.
What is that part of the speaker called?
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's not bad. Asking that.
Creative alliteration about these.
Why? Why do you need creative?
Crayons color cheerfully. They certainly craft colorful creations.
The second one is much better, but yeah. What's the all this being AI? His voice is a bit robotic. That would honestly be more impressive.
Defines encryption and decryption functions.
Yeah, that's not real time. I promise you that.
CBC encryption to encode and decode data.
Or unless it's a very simple code, I cannot actually see it. Yeah, I mean it's 4 line per like paragraph, I guess.
What neighborhood do you think I'm in?
What? Why?
This appears to be the King's Cross area of London.
Why?
Known for its railway station and transportation.
What does anything have to do with my real world
Do you remember where you saw my glasses?
Yes, I do. Your glasses were on the desk near a red apple.
I bet this was pre-recorded. They said it was pre-recorded, but he said it's basically all in like in one take,
to make
right?
the system faster.
Adding a cache between the server and database could improve speed.
What does this remind you of?
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat.
All right, give me a band name for this duo.
Golden Stripes.
Nice. Thanks, Gemini.
I mean, it's all like super subjective. Like, what is my benefit from? They throw in those like cutesy gimmicks, but like, I don't know. Am I way too serious of an individual? Do do other people care?
Spatial understanding, video processing, and memory. It's easy to envisage a future where you can have an expert assistant by your side.
I'll be like an asshole. I'll to call it what OpenAI did yesterday.
Some of these agent capabilities will come to Google products like Gemini app later this year.
But worse.
For those of you on site today,
Everything is later this year, by the way. They're really playing this up as like, yeah, guys, like we will have some stuff in the summer, but everything else is later.
Let's take a look at how our innovations are helping people bring new creative ideas to life. Today, we're introducing a series of updates across our generative media tools with new models covering image, music, and video. Over the past
God
year,
forbid they actually
we've been
talk about
enhancing
like
quality,
Android,
improving
you know,
safety,
like stuff that's actually like their core
help tell this
business.
story. Here's Doug.
They're so afraid that their stock will tank the second people realize that there isn't that much money to make with OpenAI because of how aggressive the competition is. So they have to like stack up a dozen new solutions on each other and just claim that they will either be best or first or most integrated or whatever.
Today, I'm so excited to introduce Imagine 3. It's our most capable image generation model yet.
Oh, does it not make black
Imagine 3 is
Nazis?
more photorealistic. You can literally count the whiskers on its snout. With richer details, like this incredible sunlight in the sky.
Do you remember when Phil Schiller was like showing off, I believe, the iPhone 5's camera? And there was like a squirrel and he was like saying the same thing, but that was a real squirrel with real whiskers. And now it's like, oh, it's a generated wolf. Okay, because I cannot find...
This is our best model yet for rendering text, which has been a challenge for image generation models.
Text is difficult. Good to know.
Comparisons, independent evaluators preferred
Yeah, okay, but why, right? It's like the opposite of an improv class, right? You're supposed to say yes and in an improv class, and everything that comes to mind here is like, okay, and why? Right, that's sort of how it all continues. Lewis, you think it could have cool applications, but Google is pushing it too much. Yeah, they're not pushing the actual app, right? I feel like Google actually lives in apps much more than Microsoft. And when they've shown like the search features inside the Photos apps, like I was like, okay, the search entries themselves were a little gimmicky, but I couldn't see the worth in that. This is just devaluing human expression.
You can create new instrumental sections from scratch, transfer style.
And by the way, Apple will do similar stuff like that too. Logic Pro now can generate your music to a degree as well, but it just feels complete because this is all like happening in like Google search and their apps. They don't have like a music app like Logic Pro. They don't have like a movie editing tool like Final Cut. Everything they do is supposed to be like almost like a replacement, while what Apple is doing is more of like an addition to their existing solutions. Hence why everyone there is using a Mac.
This is what excites me.
You see the disconnect? They're not standing there with like a an Samsung Galaxy S tablet. They're using a Mac because the actual application still exists on the Mac.
Song around that. So right now we digging in the infinite crate. It's endless.
Where I found the AI really useful for me, this way to like fill in the
oh, that's the guy from the beginning. Guess he's a musician for real.
We're gonna put viola. We're gonna put rhythmic clapping, and we're gonna see what happens there.
Woo! And it makes it sound, ironically, at the end of the day, a little more human. So then this
no, it doesn't.
is entirely Google's loops right here. These are gloops.
Okay, the cringe, guys, I'm going the extreme route. I'm adding more E's to the cringe.
Yeah, no, that's pretty dope.
If you want to me to add more E's to the cringe to show your disdain, leave a super chat or a super sticker telling me to add more E's.
What's in my head getting it out. You're able to move light speed with your creativity. This is amazing. That right there?
But you see, like this is like an app like completely devoid of like an actual user interface or anything. It's just like more AI, then more AI, then more AI. Well, at least it gives you like access to like the individual files. I assume this is like a download button, right? But like you would still need an actual professional, somebody with an actual like eye and ear for like user interfaces and whatever, to create something that manages all this. Without it, it's basically them just saying, oh, use this as like something to inject into Logic or Final Cut. Or DaVinci Resolve or whatever. It's maximum cringe alert.
I think this really shows what's possible when we work with the artist community.
But you didn't really work with them. You just gave them the tools and
artists and songwriters on their YouTube channels now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's one more area I'm really excited to share with you.
Video.
Our teams have made some
yeah, of course. They need now a competitor to Sora, right? Which like OpenAI promised. So of course they will have to like. That llama looks terrible.
1080p videos from text, image, and video.
I wonder what the speed of Veo will be. My God, Nvidia is like going to the bank. If all of these guys are like building their servers on like their latest chips from H100 to B100, like my God, and they plan on investing into all of this for at least like the next decades. Damn.
Veo gives you unprecedented creative control. Techniques for generating static images.
That was already not real time. You already know that.
Altogether. Not only is it important to understand where an object or subject should be in space, it needs to maintain this consistency over time, just like the car in this video.
Really? Did it feel that cohesive to you?
Years of our pioneering generative video model work, including GQN, Benaki, Walt, Video
like
Lumiere,
a billion words so that everything can be sold to shareholders. It's like, oh, Gemini wasn't quite as good. Well, now Gemini works with Veo or whatever, and we will have Astra and whatever, and it's all multimodal and Jesus.
Years now. We got in contact with some of the people at Google, and they had been working on something of their own.
Google? Like Donald Glover? Wait, what?
To make a short film.
The core technology is Google DeepMind's generative video model that has been...
Wait, Donald Glover contacted Google for AI stuff? I don't believe it.
We are able to bring ideas to life that were otherwise not possible. We can visualize things on a timescale that's 10 or 100 times faster than before.
When you're shooting, you can't really iterate as much as you wish. And so we've been hearing that feedback is that it allows for like more optionality, more iteration, more improvisation.
But that's what's cool about it. It's like you can make a mistake faster. That's all you really want at the end of the day. At least in art, it's just to make mistakes fast.
So using
NVIDIA and AMD are going to be the most valuable companies within the next 10 years? No. Like NVIDIA could have, there will be competition. Like people, ARM is investing now into making more dedicated AI stuff. Apple is looking into powering a lot of their own AI stuff with their own chips. Google, as far as I know, does actually have like some money invested into their own chip stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict because you also don't know how long all of this lasts. Like it's yet another craze. I fully believe that AI is way more sustainable than like crypto was and NFTs or whatever. But it's yet another craze. It's completely like out of control right now.
Some of these features will be available to select creators through video effects at labs.google.
Wait.
And the wait list is open now.
The wait list?
Of course, these advances in generative video go beyond the beautiful visuals you've seen
You
today.
see, like all of this is super expensive. If you actually tried giving people this the way they have access to Google search, these companies would go like bankrupt in a year. Even if they suck off all your data and put a million ads in your face, they would go bankrupt from this.
To build AI more than 15 years ago, we knew that one day it would change everything. Now that time is here, and we continue to be amazed by the progress we see and inspired by the
the tools in of themselves, I'm not gonna judge their quality, but it's all like coming late. Wait, well, okay, right? What have we heard? Right, coming this summer, right? Okay, that was the earliest. Later this year.
Huge amount of innovation is happening at Google DeepMind.
Waitlist is open.
Training state-of-the-art models.
Select partners, right?
Industry demand for ML compute has grown by a factor of 1 million in the last 6
Yeah,
years.
Google Tensor does their
every
own
year
stuff, but
increases
like it
tenfold.
depends also, like the GPU part is also like not that great. George, you're saying you wish this era of constant AI hub goes away as soon as possible. Yeah, I would prefer them to focus on just regular stuff. Money would go to improving their own chips. Yeah, that is one part, but also like just keep on improving Android in general, make it more efficient, make it fast, make it give it good battery life, give it features that people actually use day to day.
Called Trillium.
Guys, this is why we are all here together. You see, we were discussing like the business, but like
over the previous generation.
Trillium GPU, not TPUs, they call it.
We'll make Trillium available to our cloud customers in late 2024. Alongside our TPUs, we are proud to offer CPUs and GPUs to support any workload. That includes the new Axion processors we announced last month, our first custom ARM-based CPU with industry-leading performance and energy efficiency. We are also proud to be one of the first cloud providers to offer NVIDIA's cutting-edge Blackwell GPUs available in early 2025. We are fortunate to have a long-standing partnership with NVIDIA.
Like, can companies please shut up about their partnership with NVIDIA? NVIDIA sells to everyone, whoever buys in mass. They sell to Amazon, they sell to Microsoft, they sell to you. Can you please stop pretending like you're best friends with Jensen Huang? Like, oh, Mark Zuckerberg just bought like what, a couple $1 billion worth of like GPUs from them. It's in like a private meeting. Are they now best friends?
Customers. Chips are a foundation.
George, you're saying you have a secondary Pixel 6a phone. It's very good, but the SoC overheats. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like they put it on a cheap Samsung Note. They don't keep up with the latest advancements in the architecture.
Businesses and developers are using it to tackle more complex challenges with more than twice the efficiency relative to just buying the raw hardware and chips.
I mean, this is like an appeal to shareholders, right? It's like saying, oh, our operating expenses will not be as big as you might have feared.
Nearly a decade, long before it became state-of-the-art for the industry. And today, our total deployed fleet capacity for liquid cooling systems is nearly 1 gigawatt and growing. That's close to 70 times the capacity of any other fleet.
Who cares? This is an attack only on Microsoft. It's like trying to say, we have also server infrastructure.
Globally. Our network spans more than 2 million miles of terrestrial and subsea fiber, over 10 times the reach of the next leading cloud provider. We'll keep making the investments necessary to advance AI innovation and deliver state-of-the-art capabilities. And one of our
and they're all using that Apple like sheet where it's like with those different squares on it.
25 years ago, we created Search to help people make sense of the waves of information moving online.
No, this cannot be it. This cannot be the end.
We have delivered breakthroughs to help answer your questions better. On mobile, we unlock new types of questions and answers using better context, location awareness, and real-time information. With
you stole a lot from it from Google, from Apple.
We enable new ways to search with your voice, or a hum to find your new favorite song, or an image of that flower you saw on your walk. Now you can even
which, by the way, this has been notorious for being misunderstood by AI. Like, you show them like flowers, it depends a lot like what the color reproduction of your camera is, the exact lighting around you. It's really, it gets it wrong. Like anything super exotic, it just gets completely wrong. Yeah, Sunder does not look passionate. This is like an appeal. This is how he would sound, and probably how he would look during an investor call, right? Just saying, oh, we actually have the longest like cables. We connect like underwater and under the land, and 10 times more than the closest competition. Oh, and by the way, we are big on water cooling. Like, you know, if like your son right now has like a gaming PC, maybe that PC is water cooled. You know, we were one of the first people to have like liquid cooled servers. So that's cool, right, guys?
Difficult to search those cool new shoes you might want to buy.
And this is also the same thing. Like, we have seen that a billion times. It's like this has been like a gag on Big Bang Theory, I think, right? Where like they were developing an app that recognizes shoes and catalogs them and makes them easy to purchase. It's like Google brings that up like every other year. It's like, oh, recognize shoes in an image? It's like, okay, I get it. You can sort of recognize shoes in an image.
Right. You can always return them later. High bar for information. The result is a product that does the work for you. Human Q. Here's Liz.
Liz.
Haven't just adapted. We've
Is that
expanded what's possible with Google Search.
Google Search? Okay.
And now,
I'll just briefly
advanced
catch up.
search.
Oh, it's all AI anyway, so why do I bother?
First, our real-time information with over 1 trillion facts about people, places.
Yeah, it would be much more interesting with Craig. It'd still be gimmicks for most of it, but I also am sure that Apple would be able to repackage a lot of that stuff into actually more useful things. Like, as I said, all that like generated music would be way better if it was like built into Logic. Those generative video tools would be way better if they were built right into Final Cut. And then maybe you could see like maybe the exact layers that make up that video file, and now you can edit them right away. That would be cool. Whatever, it's Google search.
Are really more like 10 questions in one. You can ask your entire question with all its sub-questions and get an AI overview in seconds.
But like, get to something Google search.
Ask search to find the best yoga or Pilates studios in Boston and show you details on their intro offers and the walking time from Beacon Hill.
Okay, yeah, it's AI in Google search. I mean, you said that like AI overviews from the beginning. Why are we talking about this like 40 minutes later?
You get some studios with great ratings and their introductory offers. And you can see the distance for each. Like this one, it's just a 10-minute walk away. Right below, you see where
we lost, like, guys, almost all of our audience. Like, people just are not interested in this crap.
Under the hood, our custom Gemini model acts as your AI agent, using what we call multi-step reasoning. It breaks your bigger question down into all its parts, and it figures out which problems it needs to solve, and in what order. And thanks to our real-time info and ranking expertise, it reasons using the highest quality information out there.
Yeah, this is one advantage that I'm surprised they are not bringing up more often, which is the fact that they have a fully like worldwide functional search engine, and that it in theory gives you a lot of data for the AI without even training the AI specifically. I don't know why this is such a small part. This should be something that they prioritize.
In just seconds. Next.
Oh, George, nice to know that you're in the medical field as well.
That much easier. Take planning, for example. Dreaming up trips and meal plans can be fun, but doing the work of actually figuring
They don't need
out
Zoloft, they need like cocaine, man, though.
Gemini and Search, Google does the planning with you.
Like some nice
It's really
LSD.
hard for AI to get right. It's the type of problem that takes advanced reasoning and logic. After all, if you're meal planning, you probably don't want mac and cheese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, my kids might, but say you're looking for a bit more variety.
Who thought it was a good idea to make this a part of the presentation? Like, this is boring as hell.
Across the web. This one for
Like, I'm drinking Coke and I'm still falling
You
asleep.
can easily head over to the website to learn
This
how
will
to
be like my least viewed video ever.
veggies in. You can simply ask Search to swap in a vegetarian dish. And just like that, search customizes your meal plan. And you can export your meal plan or get the ingredients as a list just by tapping here. Looking ahead, you could imagine asking Google to add everything to your preferred shopping cart. Then we're really cooking. These planning capabilities mean search will be able to help plan everything from meals and trips to parties, dates, workout.
I mean, I don't want this to be quite like
all the fun of planning.
Like, and I believe that MKBHD said it like very well. He said it like, why should I trust AI to plan like a full trip for me if I don't even trust it to order the right detergent for me, right? My question is pretty much the same here. Like, why do I need it to be like, okay, right? Let's say AI is self-programming, so it can do tasks, extra tasks that the developers didn't even like program. It's just basically an icing on the cake. But why bring it up? Why bring it up that it plans events for you and like trips? You know how stupid that sounds when you like take away the human element from that?
You've seen how Google Search can help with increasingly complex questions and planning. But what about all those times when you don't know exactly what to ask and you need some help brainstorming? When you come to search for ideas, you'll get more than an AI-generated answer.
Why?
You'll get an entire AI-organized page, custom built for you and your question.
Why would I need Google to recommend questions to me?
And you're looking for the perfect restaurant. What you get here breaks AI out of the box, and it brings it to the whole page.
Why? Just show me nice restaurants close by. Go by TripAdvisor or whatever.
Into these helpful clusters.
Does it know what my finances are? Does it know the taste of like that my wife has in food?
Factors, like the time of the year. So since it's warm in Dallas, you can get rooftop patios as an idea. And it pulls everything together into a dynamic whole-page experience. You'll start to see this new AI-organized search result.
By the way, guys, never go for like rooftop stuff for like very important events. You can never know when it rains. You can never know when it gets too hot. And yeah, it just ruins the experience.
Today, you've seen how you can bring any question to search. And Google takes the work out of searching. But your questions aren't limited to words in a text box. And
I am so
even
bored.
A picture can't tell the whole story. Earlier, Demis showed you our latest advancements in video understanding. And I'm really excited to share that
I don't like this gets a massive dislike. I'll probably like dislike it later with like my secondary account or whatever. Oh, this is my secondary account that I'm watching it from.
Thank you, Liz. I have always run a record player, and I got this one and some vinyls at a yard sale recently. But when I go to play it, this thing keeps sliding off. I have no idea how to fix it or where to even start.
Oh no, you can. There are a billion YouTube videos. You know, the company that you work for actually created a giant platform for that. You can also do just the most basic Google search entry of like, this thing on my vinyl record player is broken or whatever. Samhain, you're saying, if this is the best Google has to offer, I'm concerned for their future. Yeah, this looks legitimately desperate. Like, this is AI stuff that we have seen almost like 4 or 5 years ago. Sure, it's a little bit more advanced in certain areas, a little faster in others. Where's the deep integration with Android, with all the data that you have about people? You know, if you actually created like a good Google Tensor chip, you might actually be right now selling it to other Android vendors and telling them that, oh, certainly on-device AI features are exclusive to them. You could have opened yourself a new market and be like the Nvidia for like mobile processors or whatever. You could have actually been like making like how you do Google Gemini Pro, whatever. You could have had like an Android Pro where other like Android vendors pay you money to get like the most advanced version of Android. You know, like what Samsung is doing with like circle to search and stuff, even though it makes basically no sense because most of those features will be free and or better anyway. You could have had a cohesive business strategy about it. They're engineering ridiculous situations to justify their products, and they're not bringing even up like the most logical competition, which are even like their own services, like Google Search and YouTube.
Or I would have pieced together a bunch of searches to try to figure this out. Like, what make is this record player? What's the model? And what is this thing actually called? But now, I can just ask of a video. So let's
I mean,
try
you
it.
could have also learned legitimately a little bit about
take a
it.
video and ask Google.
Oh my god, it refuses to go in focus. Look at how bad the video is. It's too stupid.
And in a near instant, Google gives me an AI overview. I guess some reasons this might be happening and steps I can take to troubleshoot. So looks like first, this is called a toner. Very helpful.
Guys, thank you again for actually more people watching. I thought we would stay at like 2 viewers. Please, if you're enjoying my content, I'm usually much more high energy than I am today. Please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment. And if you feel like supporting me and this channel directly, leave a super chat, leave a super sticker, or you can support this channel directly in the long term through Patreon.
Of our state-of-the-art speech models. Our deep visual understanding.
Just check the dislike count, it's sitting at 600 and the stream barely finished. Oh, is the stream completely over now? Yeah, I was like a minute behind because I went, wait, that's all?
Opt into Search Labs to be among the first.
Nah, this will get disliked to high heaven.
This all comes together in Google Search this year.
Okay, let's catch up with it being.
The lever not moving all the way.
And again, you're so devoid of ideas, you couldn't even think of like another question. This is basically the exact same question that you asked about the tone arm on the record player. I love that they're also showing like how long some of those queries actually take. Which is like all that talk about it being super instantaneous even while working with video and stuff. If those text entries take so much, can you imagine how long it actually takes for it to take video that you're shooting live, analyze it fully, and then give you actually like cohesive responses? It's now at 1.6k dislikes. Yeah, I should install like that plugin at some point. Is it now fully finished? Is this it? Introducing what? Really, without LLM content, this keynote would be hello and goodbye. Yeah, like really, like zero like mention of actual Android. Like, has Google stopped working on like Google Docs and stuff? Like, no wonder nobody trusts them to actually adopt any of their solutions. Like, you still have to keep working on your existing crap, Google.
Since last May, we've been hard at work making Gemini for Workspace even more helpful for businesses and consumers across the world. Tens of thousands of customers have been using Help Me Write, Help Me Visualize, Help Me Organize since we launched. And now we're really excited that the new Gemini-powered side panel will be generally available next month.
It will be generatively available next month. It's like, oh, get excited about the side panel. What?
Local favorite, right here in California, Sports Basement. They rolled out Gemini for Workspace to the organization, and
this feels like almost like now we are like at another keynote, right? Do you guys remember like the old WWDC days when they would often invite in third-party developers to talk about like their latest app? This feels like a lady completely disconnected from Google, and she's just now talking about what like her company does thanks to Google Gemini. This doesn't feel like an actual Google project.
This has helped improve the product.
How is there like
support team by more than
Their stock is up
30%.
0.27%, so
Love how
it's
Gemini
basically
builds
flat.
participation in meetings with automatic language detection and real-time captions now expanding to 68 languages.
Whoa, you feel the lack of excitement in the room?
We are really excited about what Gemini 1.5 Pro unlocks for Workspace and AI Premium customers. Let me start. What is really, really neat about this evolution of Smart Reply is that it's contextual. Gemini understood the back and forth in that thread and that Jeff was
I'll just
apps like
try to
email,
catch up to
Drive,
real
Docs,
time. It doesn't matter. I understand what they're showing.
And in our daily lives, we often have information that flows from one app to another. Like, say, adding a calendar entry from Gmail.
Okay, okay.
Or creating reminders.
Okay, now this is probably the most useful stuff,
Gemini
right?
can make these journeys totally seamless. Perhaps even automate them for you entirely.
Okay, okay.
So
I
let
don't
me show
hate
you
this.
What I mean with a real life example.
Yeah.
My sister is a self-employed photographer, and her inbox is full of appointment bookings, receipts, client feedback on photos, and so much more. Now, if you're a freelancer or a small business, you really want to focus on your craft and not on booking.
Guys, if you want to support me as a freelancer, do all the YouTube jazz to motivate me to keep going. Please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment. And if you want to support this channel directly, leave a super chat, super sticker, or subscribe to my Patreon.
Help me organize and track my receipts. Let's click on this prompt. The side panel now will show me more details about what that really means. And as you can see,
I have stopped writing anything down because also part of this is like everything has like the most stupid name like ever, from Google Gemini in general to like Astra that supposedly is so much different than anything else, even though it builds on everything else there. It's like, here's our CPUs, our GPUs, our TPUs, like it's all multimodal, and here's like a side panel for you to get excited about. And like here are our work apps, but we have to call them Google Workplace, and I'm like, guys, those are way too many names. Like, I mean, like, for example, Apple has, like, the iWork suite, right? With, like, Pages, Keynote, Numbers. They used to have, like, web creation tools in the past and whatever. It's like, but they don't come out and, like, confuse you with all those different terms all the time.
create a Drive folder and put this receipt and 37 others it's found into that folder.
Okay, yeah, I actually think this is pretty useful. I still don't know if I would trust AI in general, but if it was actually good enough, I actually think this is not a bad thing. Like, for example, if you are doing your taxes and yeah, you legitimately have like a lot of receipts that you like send out per email or whatever, it could also help you like catalog files. This is legitimately like a billion times useful than they've been showing off in the entire like hour.
Makes sense. Step 2, extract the relevant information from those receipts.
No, don't do like, I know you want it, but like, I don't trust AI with this. I've seen like Copilot fail at the most basic math and like spelling stuff at GPT-4 levels.
Folder into a new spreadsheet. Now this sounds useful. Why not? I also have the option to edit these actions or just hit OK. So let's hit OK. Gemini will now complete the 2 steps described above, and this is where it gets even better.
This would be really, really impressive if it worked on device, and I wouldn't be also like fearing of exposing my data and all that stuff to Google.
Gemini offers you the option to automate this so that this particular workflow is run on all future emails, keeping your Drive folder and expense sheet up to date with no effort from you.
This thus far is the very best example they have shown, because it combines like Google Gmail with Google Drive. It is like a legitimate like productive use case, and if AI actually does it well, then there are zero complaints here. But this is 1 hour into the keynote, and after like a boring introduction to the entire topic with like, we introduce side panel. made in the shade. OpenAI has stolen Google's lunch and eating it in their face. Yeah, to a degree, but it doesn't have to be. Even if Google's like LLMs are technically worse than OpenAI's, their control over Android, the reach that they have with YouTube and Google Search and Google Maps, like it gives them more data, it gives them more customers. This is what they should be building on. This is the first feature they should have shown today. And you see, even the applause is genuinely louder than before.
I know that creating a complex spreadsheet like this can be daunting for most people. But with this automation, Gemini does the hard work of extracting all the right information from all the files and in that folder and generates this sheet for you. So let's take a look. Okay, it's super well organized, and it even has a category for expense type. Now, we have this sheet. Things can get even more fun. We can ask Gemini questions. Questions like, show me where the money is spent.
Why would I ask it that way? I mean, I can see the expense. What?
Nice visual to help me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, you see, that's genuinely the best thing they have shown thus far.
In your inbox, like travel expenses, shopping, remodeling projects, you name it. All of that
side panel is secret MVP.
And play better. Now, this particular. I know. This particular ability to organize your attachments in Drive and generate a sheet and
try to catch up again
of getting things done. How you use Gemini. Now, as we look to with AI. Now, with Gemini, you have how you interact with AI. So we send them.
By the way, every 10, do I do 5 or 10 second skips? 5 seconds. They say the word AI literally every 5 seconds.
Emails. We have group people. We mention them in comments and. For example, when we work with other people, we mention them in comments and docs.
Okay.
We send them emails. We have group chats with them, etc. And it's not just how we collaborate with each other, but we each have a specific role to play in the team.
Okay.
And as the team works together, we build a set of collective experiences and context to learn from each other.
Okay.
We have the combined set of skills to draw from when we need help. So how could we introduce AI into this mix and build on this shared expertise? Well, here's one way. We're prototyping a virtual Gemini-powered teammate.
Yeah, this screen, okay, I'm calling it. This will come out and be like 1/10 of what they're promising. When they say, like, by the way, guys, we've been here today. What have they said? Stuff like, coming this summer, okay? Coming later this year. Waitlist, but no concrete timeline. We are working with select partners. Some timing for hardware, like late 2024, early 2025. When Google tells you they're prototyping something, we are prototyping. Yeah, then you know that this is basically like complete smoke and mirrors. I wouldn't believe anything they show right now.
Identity, a workspace account.
By the way, let me just speed this up.
Let me bring Tony up to show you what I mean.
Just so it gets a little bit more exciting.
Hey everyone. Okay, so let me start by showing you how we set up this virtual teammate. As you can see, the teammate has its very own account, and we can go ahead and give it a name. We'll do something fun like...
Good thing I didn't do a Red Bull drinking game every time. Well, I mean, Red Bull would be bad. It would probably give me a heart attack, but like alcohol would give me liver poisoning right here on the spot.
And a few more things.
Yeah, like AI is, if I said AI, if I did a drinking game to the word AI, I would be dead regardless of what I would be drinking. I would just explode from the sheer mass of and volume of fluid injected into me.
I might ask a question like, anyone know if our I/O storyboards are approved?
And again, we went from a super useful thing to now we are like...
Chip searches across all the
like,
and knows respond with an answer. There it is. Simple, but very helpful. Now, as the team adds Chip to more group chats, more files.
I also, by the way, cannot wait for, if this ever turns out to be true, like a real use case, I cannot wait for companies to have like an AI like spy inside chats, inside like group meetings and stuff, where like if you're ever on a team and you want to say, well, we need a little bit more time or whatever, because that's like your human perception, and then the executive asks like your AI, like, how long do you think they will need? And it tells them like, well, they will be ready in 2 days according to my calculations. Well, good luck.
All threads. Chip builds a collective memory of our work together. Let's look at an example. To show you, I'll switch over to a different room. How about Project Sapphire over here? And here we are discussing a product release coming up. And as usual, many pieces are still in flight. So I can go ahead and ask, are we not only up this message here?
I'm so not interested in this.
Help address the issue. A task like this could take me hours, dozens of hours. Chip can get it all done in just a few minutes, sending the doc over right when it's ready. And so much of this practical helpfulness comes from how we've customized Chip to our team's needs. And how
by the way, like, there's one thing that I don't know how the employees feel about the specific tools. I don't know if internally they're like, oh, this is like crap, it doesn't really improve my workflows beyond like giving me some tips with coding or whatever. But when executives look at this, they look at, and I believe, George, you mentioned that in the chat, or it was probably, or it was either you or Lewis, and you said like, oh, this is designed for like layoffs, right? This is designed to replace more humans, regardless of what the actual output quality almost is, right? Because once you're Google, once you're Microsoft, once you make $20 billion of profit every quarter anyway, you don't really care about the quality of these smaller projects by people that you will probably let go anyway at some point, right? So you will be like, oh, this project can be like internally done like 10% cheaper by injecting like Chip, that Google teammate, that AI-based teammate. Yeah, then you will do it. Forget that regular humans might probably hate interacting with it. Like for all the summary stuff, right? You already have introduced a dozen tools. You don't need the teammate. This is, by the way, also part of like when it comes to like almost cheating their shareholders, like introducing 100 features that are all actually the same feature, but they designed to like look slightly different. This is exactly what you do to create like shareholder value. It's like, oh, Google Gemini might not succeed, but Google Astra will, right? Oh, do you think it's getting expensive? Well, we have Trillium, we have Axion. And do you know how we integrate it in Google Docs and Google Gmail, in Google Workspace? Well, we now have Side Panel and we now have AI Teammate. Like those names constantly being thrown against the wall is exactly like this strategy. Is the stream one? No, I put it at 1.25, and I assume he's a fast talker. I didn't put it at 1.5, did I? No, it's 1.25.
Seamlessly, this AI is integrated.
I guess he's nervous, so he's talking fast, right?
Tony. Now, I can imagine a number of different types of virtual teammates configured by businesses to help them do what they need. Now, we have a lot of work to do to figure out how to bring these agentic experiences like virtual teammates into Workspace, including enabling third parties to make their very own versions of Chip. We're excited about where this is headed, so stay tuned.
You will get a billion suggestions if you make that teammate like an easy female colleague. And then you will have a ton of insult suggestions at how to best make her the most productive teammate ever. For everything else, I feel like your prototyping is kind of doomed, knowing you, Google. Sorry.
Gemini and its capabilities continue to evolve. We're diligently bringing that power directly into Workspace to make all our users more productive and creative, both at home and at work. And now, over to Sissy to tell you more about Gemini app.
Gemini app. Okay, that's now going to be their answer to what OpenAI did. I still keep this sped up, so we still have to catch up to
be the most helpful personal AI assistant by giving you direct access to Google's latest AI models. Gemini can help you learn, create, code, and anything else you can imagine. And over the past year, Gemini has put Google's AI in the hands of millions of people, with experiences designed for your phone and the web. We also launched Gemini Advanced, our premium subscription for access to the latest AI innovations from Google. Today, we'll show you how Gemini is delivering our most intelligent AI experience. Let's start with the Gemini app, which is redefining how we interact with AI. It's natively multimodal, so you can use text, voice, or your phone's camera to
Take a sip, guys. Multimodal.
This summer, you can have an in-depth conversation with Gemini using your voice. We're calling this new experience Live.
Okay, so this is... Wait, I thought this was Astra. What was then Astra if we have the Google Gemini app? Why do we need Astra at this point?
And this is
Why do we have 20 names for the same thing?
Video understanding capabilities from Project Astra to the Gemini app. When you go live, you'll be able to...
Oh, okay. Project Astra integrates into the app.
In real time. Now, the way I use Gemini isn't the way you use Gemini. So we're rolling out a new feature that lets you customize...
Why? Are you so special? Am I not good enough for you? What do you mean?
Gems.
Like, you see, it's like one name after another after another. This is confusion. This is not a cohesive strategy. This is what you do when you legit have no idea what you're actually selling to consumers and shareholders.
They're really simple to set up. Just tap to create a gem, write your instructions once, and come back whenever you need it.
What?
For example, here's a gem that I created that acts as a personal writing coach. It specializes in short stories with mysterious twists, and it even builds on the story drafts in my Google Drive.
Why? Like, you're, like, legitimately, why? Why do you need, like, a search... like a short story gem and like go on like a billion forums, join Reddit stuff, people talk about everything and people actually have interesting, like, guys, I don't want to toot my horn here, right, but I'm an absolute nobody in the world of tech and I'll probably never be anybody relevant in the world of tech, but I have people watching me because some people enjoy a little bit of the insights that I provide, some people laugh at my jokes, and I enjoy having you guys here, even if it's small amounts. Some of you sent a super chat, right? It's all like super symbolic, it's all really human to me. And here's like a person who is clearly wealthy, clearly connected, and it's like cannot be bothered to interact apparently with other people. Like, I'm not blaming her personally, but the approach that they're taking. Like, apparently to find out about like short stories or whatever, she has to go to like a weird inhuman AI in like a specific app that and she builds a gem that integrates with Google's Astra functionality inside the Google Gemini app, probably with a Google Gemini Advanced subscription, so that she can do all of this crap instead of talking to actual people online with a million forums, with Google's own search engine, with Google's own giant video platform where hundreds, thousands, even millions of people like me share their ideas, their thoughts. They interact with you live in short videos, in long videos, in even like small movies, one might say. They create so much content it rivals any TV show on the planet, and yet we are supposed to eat this slop. Like, in the words of like Red Letter Media's Mr. Plinkett, stop feeding me this pig slop, I'm only half pig.
I call it the cliffhanger curator. Now, gems are a great time saver when you have specific ways that you want to interact with Gemini again and again.
What?
Gems will roll out in the coming months, and our trusted testers are already finding so many creative ways to put them to use. They can act as your yoga bestie, your personal sous chef, a brainy calculus tutor.
Yeah, God forbid you actually meet another person at yoga and then interact with them, and for everything else you just look up freaking stuff on the web. God forget, like what? Like, you don't want to watch like Gordon Ramsay give you like a cooking instruction? You need that shit to talk to you directly because you're so special. You need a freaking sous chef whenever you make a freaking omelet.
A peer reviewer for your code, and so much more. Next, I'll show you how Gemini is taking a step
I'm sorry, guys. I get angry when I see stuff. This is all so much worse than Apple's freaking like Crush ad, and it will get 0 of the attention.
and taking actions for you.
Like Hugh Grant freaking commented on Apple's Crush ad, but somehow Google is like here, like confidently presenting to us the idea that we need like gems with Astra and Google Gemini because we cannot be bothered to look up at a normal YouTube video.
Now, we all know that chatbots can give you ideas for your next vacation, but there's a lot more that goes into planning a great trip. It requires reasoning that considers space-time logistics and the intelligence to prioritize and make decisions. That reasoning and intelligence all come together in the new trip planning experience in Gemini Advanced.
Oh my god,
Now, it all
trip
starts with-
planning.
Okay, so here we go.
Stop selling me trip planning. I don't want AIs to plan my
Our
trips.
flight and hotel details are already.
I'm a human who is capable of having personal interests.
Everyone has their own things that they want to do. To make sense of these variables, Gemini starts by gathering all kinds of information from search. And
Or you could have asked the actual people traveling with you.
extensions like Maps and Gmail. It uses that data to create a dynamic graph of possible travel options.
Like Miami needs ceviche. Like what? Like just
Taking into account all of my priorities and constraints. The end result is a personalized vacation plan presented in Gemini's new dynamic UI. Now, based on my
all this AI, by the way, looks exactly the same.
flight information, Gemini knows that I need a 2.5-day itinerary. And you can see how Gemini uses spatial data to make decisions. Our flight lands in the late afternoon, so Gemini skips a big activity that day and finds a highly rated seafood restaurant close to our hotel. Now, on Sunday, we have a jam-packed day. I like these recommendations, but my family likes to sleep in. So I tap to change the start time, and just like that, Gemini adjusted my itinerary for the rest of the trip. It moved our
This would be so much more productive if we are talking about like a business trip or whatever. But this is a human experience.
walking tour to the next day and added lunch options near the street art museum.
How far
Make the
behind
most of
am
our
I at
Sunday
this point?
afternoon.
5 minutes.
This looks great. It would have
I'll start skipping more.
just in time to help you plan your own Labor Day.
Coming this summer, yeah.
Earlier, that starting today, Gemini Advanced subscribers get access to Gemini 1.5 Pro with 1 million tokens. Couple new potential. You can upload a PDF up to 1,500 pages long, or multiple files to get insights across a project. And soon you can upload as much as 30,000 lines of code, or even this amount. Let's say you've spent months on your thesis, and you could really use a fresh search, actionable advice, so you can feel confident in your work.
I cannot wait until
And check out what Gemini
students
Advanced can do
stop
for
doing any homework at
Data analysis
all.
feature launching in the coming weeks with an accountant. Ask Gemini to visualize your earnings and help you understand your profit. Gemini goes to work.
This is nothing new, by the way. Why are we like? I understand stuff gets better over time, but they have talked about stuff like this for like 3-4 years at this point.
analysis together into a
Like
single chart.
generating a graph on like very basic stuff, like those are my different income sources and whatever. Can you like put them into like a graph? That shit has existed now for a while from Google and OpenAI and whatever.
Just one more thing. Later this year, we'll be doubling the long context window to 2 million tokens.
You already said it 4 times or whatever.
Making Gemini more multimodal.
Multimodal, guys, take a
And as I said
drink.
Earlier, we're also expanding Gemini Advanced to over 35 supported languages available today.
Good for you.
Simple prompt. Let's take a look.
Enter a prompt here. Okay, can't be that hard. How about generate an image of a cat playing guitar?
Is that how it works? Am I doing AI?
Yeah, it just does whatever you type.
What a last minute gift ideas you can make with arts and crafts.
Plan a workout routine to get bigger calves.
Help me think of titles for my tell-all memoir.
What's something smart I can say about Renoir?
Generate another image of a cat playing guitar.
If a girl calls me a snack, how do I reply?
Yeah, that's how it works. You're doing AI.
Make this email sound more professional before I hit send.
What's a good excuse to cancel dinner with my friends?
We're literally sitting right here.
Oh, thank you, Google. I needed the ad for Pixel 8 Pro. How could I have lived without
An
it?
image of a cat playing guitar.
You know I can do other stuff, right?
Oh, is that over? Is that why the ad is here? Because this is like the last section?
Hi, everyone. It's great to be back at Google I/O. Today, you've seen how AI is transforming our products across Gemini, Search, Workspace, and more. We're bringing all these innovations right onto your Android phone. And we're going even further to make Android the best place to experience Google AI.
Actual Android stuff.
AI is a profound opportunity to make smartphones truly smart. Our phones have come a long way in
Android.
but if you think about it, it's been years since the user experience has fundamentally transformed. This is a once-in-a-generation moment to reinvent what phones can do. So we've embarked on a multi-year journey to reimagine Android with AI at the core.
Oh my god.
It starts with 3 breakthroughs you'll see this year.
Okay.
First, we're putting AI-powered search right at your fingertips, creating entirely new ways.
You've already done that!
Second, Gemini is becoming your new AI assistant on Android, there to help you anytime. And third, we're harnessing on-device AI to unlock new experiences that work as fast as you do.
Okay.
Keeping your senses
Okay,
engaged.
this is getting a little bit more interesting.
Let's start with AI-powered search. Earlier this year, we took an important first step at Samsung Unpacked by introducing Circle to Search.
Yeah, but you also have that already on your Google Pixel. What does... Oh, now it just comes for free to everyone. Let me guess.
Without switching apps. Fashionistas are finding the perfect shoes. Home chef.
Oh my god! Shoe finding! Again, shoe finding! Jesus, the shoes are haunting me!
Social posts in another language. And there are even more ways.
Live translation, it has all existed now for literally years.
More of their schoolwork directly on their phones and tablets. So we thought, could Circle to Search be your...
Like, I would understand at least somewhat if Apple was showing that off in this way, because Apple hasn't had too much AI like on stage. But you have been showing the same shit over and over again, literally every year.
Me on the spot, he can circle the exact part he's stuck on and get step-by-step instructions, right where he's already doing the work. Ah, of course. Final velocity equals initial velocity plus acceleration times elapsed time. Right. I was just about to say that. Seriously, though, I love how it shows how to solve the problem, not just the answer. This new capability is available today. And later this year, Circle to Search will be able to tackle more complex problems involving symbolic formulas, diagrams, graphs, and more. Circle to Search is only on Android. It's available on more than 100 million devices today, and we're on track to double that by the end of the year.
Why? Why is it in any way exclusive? It's not run on device. It just basically takes a screenshot and analyzes it with...
On Android, Gemini is so much more. It's becoming a foundational part of the Android experience. Here's Dave to share more.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what Gemini does with like calendars, like all that stuff that's actually on Android.
A couple of months ago, we launched Gemini on Android.
Can actually... Oh yeah, the ad closed itself when I looked at it. That's AI for you.
App, I can bring Gemini right to what I'm doing. Now, we're making Gemini context aware, so it can anticipate what you're trying to do and provide more helpful suggestions in the moment.
Okay,
in other words, to be a more helpful assistant. So let me show you how this works, and I have my shiny new Pixel 8a here to help me.
The worst one. The huge bezel.
Was asking if I want to play pickleball this weekend, and I know how to play tennis, sort of. I have to say that for the demo, but I'm new to this pickleball thing. So I'm going to reply and try to be funny, and I'll say, is that like tennis, but with pickles? This will be actually a lot funnier with a meme, so let me bring up Gemini to help with that. And I'll say, create image of tennis with pickles. Now, one new thing you'll notice is that the Gemini window now hovers in place above the app so that I stay in the flow. Okay, so that generates some pretty good images.
It actually, like, it generated, like, the exact wrong images, right? Because to me, tennis with pickles, for one, this is a completely worthless image. And, like, here it replaces the players with pickles. Like, am I the only one, or did you guys automatically think about playing with giant pickles instead of the tennis, what is it called in English? I actually play tennis, so that's very, very embarrassing.
This is like an then drag and drop any of
Tennisschläger auf Deutsch. I apologize, guys.
Like so. Cool, let me send that.
Aman Gupta, welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you before, or if I have, I probably have forgotten.
That launches YouTube. But I only have 1 or 2 burning questions about the game, and I can bring up Gemini to help with that. And because it's context aware, Gemini knows I'm looking at a video, so it proactively shows me an Ask This Video chip. So let me tap on that, and now I can ask specific questions about the video. So for example, what is can type the 2-bounce rule? Because that's something that I've heard about but don't quite understand in the game. By the way, this uses signals like YouTube's captions, which means you can use it on billions of videos. So give it a moment. And
okay, that sounds...
Nice, distinct answer. The ball...
Okay, that's not bad. I'll admit this is now going actually taking advantage of you. Why Google has no understanding what people actually would want. This should have been in the beginning of the video, as was the example with like analyzing your files and putting them into Google Docs and into Google Drive. Why is this coming almost 1.5 hours into the stream?
You're an engineer, so here's the official rulebook for pickleball. Okay, thanks, Pete. Pete's very helpful, by the way. Okay, so we tap on that, launches a PDF.
I mean, you still didn't learn anything, right? Like, in the time that this analyzed it for you, you probably could have watched the video and actually learned something, got some human touch from it. Oh, and by the way, if you're a YouTube content creator, congratulations. Google now basically is telling people, we don't want people to watch your videos, we want our AI to read the transcript of your videos and then give probably slightly dubious interpretations of your video to the people watching. God forbid, by the way, you make like an inside joke in your video that might break up the logical like consistency of the transcript analysis. Oh my god, here. Aman Gupta saying your first time here, love you, my perspectives. Thank you so much, and you are subscribed. That's very, very generous of you. As I always say, all support is very much appreciated. Watching the video, subscribing, of course, the classics, liking, sharing, commenting. I do love having a lively chat where we all interact. And if somebody feels like supporting directly, you have super chats and super stickers right while I'm live. Give a small donation to keep this train going, to keep my exciting from completely falling off a cliff. Or if you want to support this channel directly in the long term, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Let's continue.
84-page PDF.
Oh my god, how many pixel ads do I have to...
You all know, like to work smarter.
I didn't log in through my... This is my secondary account that I use for like to check how my channel looks, like from a different perspective, right? Like I see what comments have actually been published and not. I see like what works, what doesn't. Like I see what upload quality is there, stuff that I don't actually see with my real account. Because there just gives me everything, all the data, and that can sometimes not be representative. So I have this activated, which means I have to see ads now.
Entire document, I can pull up Gemini to help. And again, Gemini anticipates what I need and offers me an Ask This PDF option. So if I tap on that, Gemini now ingests all of the rules to become a pickleball expert. And that means I can ask very esoteric questions, like, for example, are spin serves allowed? And let's hit that, because I've heard that rule may be changing. Now, because I'm a Gemini Advanced user...
Yeah, you're looking up stuff about pickleball, but somehow, and you never really, learned anything about it, but you know how to ask weird, esoteric questions about it. It's...
This works on any PDF and takes full advantage of the long context window. And there's just lots of times when that's useful. For example, let's say you're looking for...
And by the way, do you see how freaking slow it is?
Quick answer in an appliance user manual. And there you have it. It turns out, nope, spin serves are not allowed. So Gemini not only gives me a clear answer to my question...
The funny part is, like, Google search probably would have, like, been not too bad here, right? Are spin serves allowed in pickleball, right? Only pre-spun pickleball serves are spun. Can you put a spin on the serve in pickleball? There goes like a 10-minute video to why are spin serves banned? So I assume it is banned. But by the way, do you see how bad Google search has become? There's like no short explanation. They're really trying to focus everything on AI. And yeah, question on rule 4a.5, spinning the ball on the surface not allowed, I guess is that what it means. Like, yeah, so Jesus, it's Google is like trying to replace all that, but not by making AI that much better, by making all of this noticeably worse than it has to be.
It also shows me exactly where in the PDF to learn more. Awesome. OK. So that's a few of the ways that we're enhancing Gemini to be more context-aware and helpful in
I'll
unlock new
skip a little bit
directly into the OS, elevates the entire smartphone experience. And Android is the first mobile operating system to include a built-in on-device foundation model. This lets us bring Gemini goodness from the data center right into your pocket. So the experience is faster while also protecting your privacy. Starting with Pixel later this year, we'll be expanding what's possible with our latest model, Gemini Nano with multimodality. This means your phone can understand the world the way you understand it. So not just through text input, but also through sights, sounds, and spoken language. Let me give you an example. 2.2 billion people experience blindness or low vision. So several years ago, we developed TalkBack, an accessibility feature that helps people navigate their phone through touch and spoken feedback.
Okay, that's cool. That's a cool accessibility feature. I'm all for that.
TalkBack will typically come across 90 unlabeled images per day. Thankfully, TalkBack makes them accessible. And now we're taking that to the next level with the multimodal capabilities of Gemini Nano. So when someone sends Caro a photo, she'll get a richer and clearer description of what's happening. Or let's say Caro is shopping online for an outfit. Now she can get a crystal clear description of the style and cut to find the perfect look. Running Gemini Nano on device.
We'll be watching your live reaction to yesterday's OpenAI event. I think that was far better than this one. Yeah, like I should note that like my reaction to that was that I think the event was rather cringe because I think they tried to overplay it a little bit from like a human perspective. Like everyone was so excited and the audience was like clapping out loud in this absurd way. But ultimately what they showed was way better than this. It was also much shorter, like what is that Shakespeare saying? Brevity is the soul of wit. This ain't witty or soulish or whatever.
Device AI can unlock. People lost more than $1 trillion to fraud last year. And as scams continue to evolve across tech and reach your presentation.
Department, am I speaking to Dave?
Yeah, this is Dave, kind of in the middle of something.
We've detected some suspicious activity on your account. It appears someone is trying to make unauthorized charge. But to protect your account, I'm going to help you transfer your money to a secure account we've set up for you.
And look at this. My phone gives me a
great
light processing case, completely private to me and on my device.
I'm not completely brain dead, so I can do that myself.
That on-device AI unlocks. Later this year, Gemini will be able to more deeply understand the content of the screen.
I wonder, by the way, like what will be the performance penalty or the battery life penalty of having this constantly running on the completely outdated tensor chips inside like the Pixel 8 family? Like, is the next tensor? No, the next tensor is not yet jumping to TSMC 3 nanometer, right? That's happening next year. So this year, and they're not adopting like Samsung 3 nanometer. That would require a lot of like redesigning, and I don't think Samsung is ready yet with the yields. I think the next Samsung chip will be the first one to employ their GAFET node. What will we have another like Samsung 4 nanometer super inefficient chip constantly wasting RAM and like performance on this?
Without any information leaving your phone, thanks to the on-device model. So remember that pickleball example earlier? Gemini and Android will be able to automatically understand the conversation and provide relevant suggestions, like where to find pickleball clubs near me. And this is a powerful concept that will work across many.
I question what the speed of this will be.
Today, at the developer keynote, you'll hear about how we're empowering our developer community with our latest AI models and tools, like Gemini Nano and Gemini in Android Studio. Also, stay tuned tomorrow for the outset. Let me hand over to Josh to share more on our use for developers. Thank you.
Nano do all of that directly on an Android phone. That was our plan all along. You can choose the one that works best for you. 2 models you can access right about 200.
I'm sorry, I'm not a developer and I am somewhat behind on the stream.
And my favorite, context caching. So you can send all of your files to the model once. These models. So developers, like all of you, can get great prices. 1.5 Pro is $7 per 1 million tokens. And I'm excited to share that for prompts up to 128K, it'll be 50% less for $3.50. And 1.5 Flash will start at 35 cents per 1 million tokens. Here's how we've been thinking about it on the TP response, where the speed of the model is what matters the most. And as a developer, you can go try them both out today and see what works best for you. Now, I'm going to show you how it works here in AI Studio, the fastest way to build with Gemini. And we'll pull it up here. And you can see this is AI Studio. It's free to use. You don't have to configure anything to get going. You just go to aistudio.google.com, log in with your Google account, and you can just pick the model here in the right that works best for you. So one of the ways we've been using 1.5 Flash is to actually learn from customer feedback about some of our labs products. A bunch of
Guys, let me know, do you have still any excitement left for this event? By the way, I'm not like against this. I do like watching like more detailed like breakdowns for developers. Like I know a little bit of code, obviously not like these guys, but like I'm genuinely interested to see like improvements there. But they're presenting it in the most boring, most inhuman way. Every single thing we've talked about today is AI stuff. There's no focus on like a good user experience, like anything, like it gets like a design update or whatever. Like okay, Aman, you have no excitement, but they don't have any excitement either, right? How am I supposed to get excited for this?
Right in Vertex AI. They are newly available today globally, and you'll hear a lot more about them in the developer keynote later today.
Oh my god, I'm not watching that, believe me, guys.
And responsibility.
Yeah,
Gemma is built.
Okay, you have gems and now you have Gemma. Is Gemma how you build gems?
Built from the same research and technology as Gemini. It offers top performance and comes in lightweight 7B and 2B sizes. Now, since it launched less than 3 months ago, it's been downloaded millions of times across all the major models.
I don't care.
And it's go see what you're going to build with it. I'm going to share this inspiring story from India, where developers have been using Gemma and its unique tokenization to create Navarasa, a set of instruction-tuned models to expand access to 15 Indic languages.
Okay, yeah.
It's a very interesting problem to solve actually, and given India has a huge variety of languages and it changes every time.
Yeah, India is one of the most like rich versions of dialects and like even like basically like unique languages. So that's cool. I doubt it will actually transform people's lives because at this point language is kind of standardized, but it's better to have this than not. Guys, we get the same animation like for the 50 billionth time during this event. Were they not able to ask AI for a new animation? Well, how many tokens did they, like, could they not spend a few of their tokens on this?
Is critical to adapting Gemma to power projects like Navrasa.
Navrasa is a model that's trained for Indic languages. It's a fine-tuned model based on Google's Gemma. We built Navrasa to make large language models culturally rooted, where people can talk in their native language and get the responses in their native language. Our biggest dream is to build a model to include everyone from all corners of India.
My god, that OpenAI event in comparison is starting to look like a masterpiece.
The language that you speak in could be the tool and the technology that you use for solving your real-world problems. And that's the power of generative AI that we want to bring to every corner of India and the entire world.
Oh, we are coming to an end, right? Yeah. No.
Everything
I
has
apologize.
been announced today. It's clear that AI is already helping people, from their everyday tasks to their most ambitious, productive, and imaginative endeavors. Our AI innovations like multimodality, long context, and agent
Guys, take a drink. They said multimodal again.
take it to a whole new level, its capacity to help people. Yet, as with any emerging technology, there are still risks. and new questions that will arise.
Okay, risks of AI. Okay.
In navigating these complexities, we're guided by our AI principles, and we're learning from our users, partners, and our own research. To us,
He's a very
building
slow
AI
speaker.
means both addressing the risks and maximizing the benefits for people and society. Let me begin with what we're doing to address the risks. Here, I want to focus on how we're improving our models and protecting against their misuse.
No way. How slow does he speak that he's...
We're improving our models with an industry-standard practice called red teaming, in which we test our own models.
Oh my god, he sounds like he's on slow-mo.
To identify weaknesses. Adding to this work, we're developing a cutting-edge technique we call AI-assisted red teaming. This draws on Google DeepMind's gaming breakthroughs like AlphaGo, where we train AI agents to compete against each other and improve and expand the scope of their red teaming capabilities. We're developing AI models with these capabilities to help address adversarial prompting and limit problematic outputs. We're also improving our models with feedback from two important groups: thousands of internal safety experts with a range of disciplines, and a range of independent experts from academia to civil society. Both groups help us identify emerging risks from cybersecurity threats to potentially dangerous capabilities in areas like chem bio. Combining human insight with our safety testing methods will help make our models and products more accurate, reliable, and safer.
Yeah, I just hit 300 followers on Twitter.
Make interactions with AI feel and sound more human-like. We're doing a lot of research in this area, including the potential for harm and misuse. We're also developing new tools to help prevent the misuse of our models. For example, Imagen 3 and Veo create more realistic imagery and videos.
Yeah, no child porn or whatever. I assume no porn in
We must
general.
also consider how they might be misused to spread misinformation.
Okay, yeah,
To
that's
help,
that
last
too.
year, we introduced SynthID, a tool that adds imperceptible watermarks to our AI-generated images and audio so that they're easier to identify. Today, we're expanding SynthID to 2 new modalities.
I cannot wait until somebody builds like an AI tool specifically to get rid of those watermarks and whatever.
And video. These launches build on our efforts to deploy state-of-the-art watermarking capabilities across modalities.
I almost wonder though, like, could they not create like a tool that basically indexes every single thing created through AI, so that if somebody shares it, like, you could just basically do like a reverse image search or like a search for that specific like document through analysis, and then it tells you, yeah, this was generated with one of those AI tools, right? This would have to be like an industry-wide effort throughout like Google, Microsoft Copilot, OpenAI, Google generative AI stuff. But yeah, I think that could be cool.
Moving forward, we'll keep
and safe.
advances like watermarking and other emerging techniques to secure our latest generations of Gemini, Imagen, Lyria, and Via models. We're also committed to working with the ecosystem, with all of you, to help others build on the advances we're making.
The problem though with anything that you add sort of to AI for this kind of use case, it can become a little bit of an issue though. Like, once you want to use any of that AI in like a film or anything, like, I understand you can just make this stuff basically like mathematically. It's not like a watermark literally on your screen, but I do want to have full control over the output that you give me when I actually integrate it into Final Cut or Logic or whatever. It's all like a two-sided sword, unfortunately.
In the coming months, we'll be open sourcing SynthID text watermarking. This will be available in our updated responsible generative AI toolkit, which we created to make it easier.
Well, text is like the most useless watermarking.
To build AI responsibly. We're also collaborating with C2PA, and we support C2PA collaborating with Adobe, Microsoft, startups, and many others, to build and implement standards that improve the transparency of digital media. Now, let's turn to the second and equally important part of our responsible AI approach: how we're building AI to benefit people in society. Today, our AI advances are helping to solve country in more than 8 development goals with data common.
Yeah, I know that stuff. Like, the problem with some of the stuff that they're saying is that a lot of that is not really the same AI that goes into like generate me a cat playing a guitar. A lot of it is like complex algorithms with input from humans actually, like who are experts when it comes to like earthquakes, floods prediction, weather modification system, whatever. All of this might technically be AI, but it's not this AI exactly. It might partially use it, it might partially be inspired by it, but fundamentally there's a huge amount of human touch to that.
To make the world's information and knowledge universally accessible and useful for learning. Billions of people already use Google products to learn every day. And generative AI is opening up new possibilities, allowing us to ask questions like, what if everyone, everywhere, could have their own personal AI tutor on any topic? Or, what if every educator could have their own assistant in the classroom? Today marks a new chapter.
People on Twitter are like shitting on this event so much.
Our new family of models based on Gemini and fine-tuned for learning. LearnLM is grounded in educational research, making learning experiences more personal and engaging.
Okay, I don't care anymore.
Which will be available in the Gemini app study guide.
Georgie, gonna eat dinner and go out for some shopping. Take care. Yeah, I'm gonna be wrapping this up. I assume this will end at the exact 2-hour mark. Thank you, George, for leaving a super chat today. Very, very much appreciated. Have a nice evening.
Another example is a new feature in YouTube that uses LearnLM to make educational videos more interactive, allowing you to ask a clarifying question.
Google do the work for you.
Oh, are we finished?
Since the big theme today has been letting Google do the work for you, we went ahead and counted so that you don't have to.
That's not something to be actually proud of, though. Like,
that might be a record in how many times someone has said AI. I'm tempted to say it a few more times, but I won't. Anyhow, this tally is more than just a pump.
He's like super skinny. Like,
much deeper.
I remember him being a tad bit buffer than this. Like the way his shoulders fall off. Like there's like no muscle mass here. Not that I'm saying he's unhealthy, but he looks a little bit worse than he usually does.
We've been AI first in our approach for a long time. Our decades of research leadership have pioneered many of.
That's actually true. This might sound a little bit like copium, but it's actually true. A lot of the underlying technology with like large language models that OpenAI made like into what it ultimately is today, a lot of it came from Google. A lot of stuff that was open sourced over time.
The modern breakthroughs that power AI progress for us and for the industry. On top of that, we have world-leading infrastructure built for the AI era. Cutting-edge innovation in search now powered by Gemini. Products that help at extraordinary scale, including 15 products with over 500 million users. And platforms that enable everyone, partners, customers, creators, and all of you to invent the future. This progress is only possible because of our incredible developer community. You're making it real through the experiences you build every day. So to everyone here in Shoreline, and the millions more watching.
Oh, thank God, this is coming to an end. Oh, please, please, the sweet release of death.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
I can't. Okay, I'm completely done with this. Yeah, I don't have much to say here because I believe this was a shit show of a presentation. I think they had 2 to 3 interesting points. I think pointing out about their more custom hardware approach is for a nerd like me pretty interesting. I think the way they've shown like the way it works between like Google Mail, Gmail, and Google Docs, and legitimately with like that what did they call it, side panel, that was interesting. I think that Astra and the way it like works inside the Google Gemini app looks worse than what OpenAI showed yesterday, but hey, competition I guess is good for all of us. Drama Llama joining, I believe, for the first time live. Usually I just see you in the comments afterwards. Google is the next BlackBerry. We don't need search anymore. We have apps and AI chats. The problem is I don't actually think that's true. Like, Google themselves is trying to replace search and YouTube while they're the ones making money. I promise you, like, even people like me who are tech savvy, like, we will be doing regular search entries for the next 20 or 30 years. They've done some interesting Android stuff. A lot of what they've shown, I don't know which part exactly was running on device always, because they had it like analyze the full YouTube video. I don't know if that goes into like the realm of this runs on the Google Tensor chip or not. Just in general, everything was more in AI, every single thing, every single feature. They do say that it's the first operating system with an on-device foundation model. I don't know if starting with Pixel later this year it gets a much better model, or in general, I don't know if what they currently have on it is considered a foundation model. Like, I don't know how they evaluate like Gemini Nano. Yeah, and then like they had like one or two decent use cases. A lot of it was cringe. Do I guys have to remind you of this opening? Right, like this was ultimately super cringe. Gonna add a couple of E's to the cringe here, not to the Google I/O. Whatever. Yeah, it's such a weird event. It's so disjointed. It's so poorly produced. Like, I much more prefer like Apple's pre-edited videos, and I think Apple's live events were also a billion times better than this. I think whatever they have shown today will be completely meaningless in the next 3 months or whatever, once those features actually launch. This is when it's going to be worth analyzing them. Whatever we saw on stage, we have no way to fact check or whatever, and there's very little, at least to me, personal usage. A lot of it sounded very far-fetched. A lot of it sounds like it could be easier done with like a traditional search or like a YouTube video. So I'm very disappointed by this. I'm not gonna continue streaming today because this was already a much longer stream than I expected. I kind of had hoped this would be like a 1 to 1.5 hour stream. Given how much they have shown, I kind of think they should have kept it to 1 hour, because like the fact that they said AI 121 times is honestly it's not good, right? It shows that they've shown basically nothing else, and even when they talked about Android, they didn't talk about anything that wasn't like AI powered. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed. I think that now my opinion of the OpenAI event has become much more positive in comparison. I also think that just in general, I probably am not getting excited anymore for like big events, for anything outside of Apple and like gaming showcases from like the big companies, because it's all cringe. It's all ultimately like, I'm just much better off looking at actual videos where people test these products than listening to any of the marketing speak, to any of the speak that is clearly designed to reach shareholders more than consumers. So Google, sorry, I'm probably not switching to Android with that kind of pitch. We'll see how this compares all to Apple. I actually think that Apple now has a pretty good chance, even with a worse language model, to come in and say, here's our stuff, a lot of it runs on device, a lot of it is super fast, a lot of it is super instantaneous, a lot of it is more customizable because it integrates directly into your applications. That means that the data we give you is like subject to like direct changes from you afterwards. Drama Llama ending the chat for me sort of with a super generous €6 super chat, super sticker actually, with like a wow. I'll give you the wow back. That's super duper generous. Drama Llama, amazing. I know you have been a watcher on the wall for this channel for quite a while. One of the most active commenters, by always leaving some drama, which is very fitting for your name. So thank you so much. This has been actually like, this kind of brings my mood up a little bit. For anyone who's watching this once the video's already been like uploaded, please, if you actually enjoyed it, for one, I promise you that most of my other videos are much higher energy. So if you're enjoying what I'm doing, please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment. Of course, watch my videos live. That helps out a lot. While I'm live, you can leave a super chat like George did today, leave a super sticker like Drama Llama did today, or subscribe to my Patreon. For example, we do have now one Mark Tech Pro Max subscriber on Patreon. At the highest tier, he gets another shout out because Louis Gott is like an amazing chatter, also like a great supporter of this channel. Guys, you're all such a big help in doing this, keeping my moods up with those little gestures of support, giant gestures of support. Obviously, just watching the video is very much appreciated. Everyone who goes above and beyond to show their support, that just warms my heart. Thank you again to everyone who tuned in live. I know it wasn't the easiest video to go through. I hope I made it somewhat easier for you. I apologize for some of the time skips inside the video, because anytime I just wanted to leave a comment, it just derailed into a rant because this was such a bad event. I'll be back. I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, then definitely on Thursday, because as I said in my last couple of streams, I'm taking a longer weekend trip starting on Friday, and probably coming back at around Wednesday. It's gotten a little longer in my planning. I apologize for that, but I asked Google Gemini and it told me I had to make the trip a little bit longer. I apologize, it's the power of AI. So I'll catch you in the next one, whenever that is going to be. Please, as always, let me know what you would like to see me cover next. Aman, you're saying thanks to me. I thank you for joining the stream. Obviously, every new viewer and every recurring viewer is very, very much appreciated. I thank you so much for coming here, spending your time with me, sometimes spending some money on me. This is an absolute honor, to be honest, that people value my opinion to be here. Sometimes it's 3 people like it's right now. Sometimes it goes up to 20 or 30 people, depending on the event. We'll see how many people will collect until like WWDC in June. I don't want to hold you up any longer. This was already quite a painful experience for all of us. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Mark Tech, tuning out.